Welcome to the Short Rod Show. You're talking with Ben.
And Brett.
Thanks again, everybody, for joining us. I think we're on episode 14 today.
Yeah, I stopped counting.
Yeah, we've been through it 14 times already. You believe that?
No, I can't. It's actually, it's unbelievable.
Yep. Blowing through episodes here. Hopefully you guys are enjoying listening in and listening along with us while we talk all things ice fishing. That's kind of our passion, and we've managed to keep it going this far. Hopefully we can keep it going some more.
Well, now we can finally be legit out ice fishing.
That's true.
This is first ice.
That was the turning point.
Des Moines, Iowa, right now. Well, second first ice.
Second turning point.
Maybe third first ice. I don't know. Depends on how ballsy you were that early October.
Yep.
Or late October.
Yeah, we weren't that ballsy. But yeah, it's finally getting to be steadily cold enough to make some good ice around the city, and we don't have to drive so far north all the time to get out on some ice. I'm looking forward to fishing after work and doing our thing, getting into our jam.
Yeah, I'm pumped to get out on Big Creek, Badger, and Copper Creek down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, those will be some sweet spots.
Yep.
Get on a few crappies.
Can't wait. So that's all coming up this season yet. So we're really getting into, like what Brett said, the meat of our season, where we're getting out on the ice. Today we're kind of pre-gaming before the trip tomorrow.
Yep.
Do a little fishing tomorrow, but wanted to get in the studio and record an episode and talk about a couple different things. What are we going to talk about today?
Yeah, so I think the first thing we're trying to discuss are ice augers. That's probably the most heated debate on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
In recent, probably the last 2 years, with all the technology coming out that just bolts right up to your drill. Then you still got gas, you got propane, you got all electric units, and then you also have your drill units. Still got your handheld units.
Yep.
You got chipper blades, you got shaver blades. What do? You got, anywhere from a 4 to or actually I think you can get a 3-inch bit, all the way up to 12, I think is the biggest you can get.
I think a 10.
10's biggest?
Yep. I haven't seen anything bigger.
But, I mean, there's just so many options. How do you know what to do, what to get?
Yep. So that'll be a fun discussion.
And we've been hearing from a lot of new guys. I didn't realize so many new people were so new getting into fishing.
Everybody's got to start somewhere.
And they've really enjoyed
take that for granted.
Yeah, kind of breaking it down. So I'm sure this will help kind of clear the way for some of those options.
Yep.
And then also use that to segue into a little bit of basin crappie fishing, hopefully.
Yep. Awesome. Real quick, we got a little update on our talk from recipes.
Oh, yeah.
So I wanted to throw this out. One of our listeners to the show, you know who you are, has a pretty cool recipe that we're talking about, Grandma's recipes and shore lunch in particular.
Turning them out.
This is actually tuning up some shore lunch. So, Brett, what do you think about this?
I'm in, I think.
Original shore lunch, not the Cajun.
All right.
Some fresh cracked black pepper. Fresh cracked.
Does it mention amounts at all?
Nope.
Okay.
Eyeball it.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Lowry's.
Oh, yeah.
Cracked pepper and Lowry's, okay? That's all you use. But wait, there's more. There's the special grandma sauce, which is 2/3 Miracle Whip and 1/3 milk, a teaspoon of sugar, and some Cajun seasoning. That would be your tartar sauce.
Oh! I was listening, I'm like, what the hell could
Miracle
grandma's sauce
milk.
possibly be? So you're cooking them and then you're dipping them in this concoction.
Well, that would be more, I would say, like a tartar sauce kind of dip along with your fish.
Huh. Yeah.
And he also specifically said his grandma buys shore lunch in a 50-pound bag every year.
Ooh, how'd she get hold of that? I wonder.
Get with me after the show.
Sometimes I have a hell of a time finding Cajun shore lunch in stores.
Yep.
So if I could buy a 50-pound bag.
Yep. Might be like Costco kind of thing.
I'd be into that. Oh, maybe I just got to buy it direct from
or like
supplier.
A food service or something, yeah.
Or
but yeah, a
50-pound
bag, that's serious.
Yeah, that is serious business. But grandma's sauce, throw that at me again, just the ingredients.
2/3 Miracle Whip.
Okay.
So ratios, 2/3 Miracle Whip, 1/3 of milk, a teaspoon of sugar, and some Cajun.
Needs more sugar, huh?
Yep.
I like the Cajun put in there.
Yep. So
spice her up a little bit. That's going to be a
fancy
fluffy
special sauce.
That's going to be a fluffy dip.
Yep.
Huh.
Pretty cool. So, yeah, thanks for that recipe. Something I never thought about, tuning up some shore lunch.
Yeah, I mean,
Lowry's.
You just put pepper and Lowry's in it. I mean, it's basically salt and pepper. That's not the end of that's not groundbreaking. But what's groundbreaking is grandma's special sauce.
Yes. Now, we can make that instead of trying to go to the store and buy tartar sauce all the time. That's what I thought.
Those are not tartar. That's not tartar. That's not anything even close to tartar sauce, man. Tartar sauce is mayonnaise and relish.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's Miracle Whip and milk. Same thing. Just a little runnier.
Isn't Miracle Whip like whipped cream?
No, Miracle Whip is like the alternative to mayonnaise.
Isn't that mayo?
Kind of. It's a sweeter version of mayo.
Oh, I was thinking.
Oh, man.
Yeah, whipped cream. I was like, holy shit.
No, so Miracle Whip would be the alternative to mayo.
Oh, I'm a Hellman's kind of guy, so I don't know anything about that.
You've never heard of it.
No.
All right. So, yeah, just a little update on some recipes. So I thought that was kind of cool to throw in. But, yeah, coming up after the break here, we'll talk some augers and some crappies. That's coming up next
on the Short Rod Show. Hey, Ben, so I've got this buddy that's trying to start a small business, but he's having a real tough time with his digital footprint and just trying to figure all that out. Do you know anybody that could help him out?
Well, I think I do. I know a couple cool guys at this company called Evergrow Marketing, and they really specialize in helping landscape and lawn care companies maximize their digital footprint and basically bring customers to them, help them get found on the internet.
Really?
I mean, they'll work with any business. They're really looking to expand, and if you tell them that Ben and Brett sent you from the Short Rod Show, you can get 10% off your first order. Really cool.
If you're interested in the Evergrow Marketing team and what they have to offer, check them out on evergrowmarketing.com and tell them Ben and Brett from the Short Rod Show sent you.
You know, Brett, I was poking around on Facebook the other day, and I could just not find the Short Rod Show. What's the deal?
Oh, you just got to punch us in on Google.
What do you mean? We show up on Google already?
Oh, yeah. The Evergrow team hooked us up.
Holy cow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good deal. I'll try that now.
Yeah, right. You just punch in Short Rod Show, and we'll come up on our website, shortrodshow.com. It'll come up on Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
Awesome. So people can find us all over now.
Yeah, all over the internet.
That's great. We're also on Instagram, too. I've been trying to keep up with that. Posting some cool pictures. When we're out on the ice, you can check us out there, too.
Yeah, sweet updates.
Awesome. Check us out, guys.
Welcome back, guys. I'm glad you stayed with us through the break. So, yeah, Ben mentioned earlier we're going to talk a little bit about augers. So I'm going to kind of segue us into that. To start with, you know, I'm just starting out, new guy. There's a hell of a lot of options on there. Currently, budget's not a concern.
Ooh.
Ben, where are you going?
Budget's
what are you doing?
Not a concern.
What are you buying?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, if budget's not a concern and you're looking, say you like ice fishing.
Yep. You're going to be into it.
You're going to be into it. I would go straight Strike Master 40 volt.
You're going 40 volt.
Just get an 8-inch. Like, it's pretty well proven now. It's going on,
God, you're a
3 years.
fanboy.
You said budget's un
Yeah, I was going to go with the Ion.
Doesn't matter.
I was going to go
Ion. The Ion G2?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. Like, we talked about the plastic auger bits.
Yeah.
A little bit. I'm not sold on those. That's the Strike Master 40 volt, yeah, that comes with the composite one.
Yeah.
The fancy one.
So does the 40 volt now.
Well, no, I don't think you can buy it specifically with it yet.
With the light flight yet?
You can buy it from Reed's in their package deal.
Oh, okay. I did see it in the Reeds. I thought they came with it.
But, I mean, really, when you're talking about something that is going to hold its value, hold up, drill a ton of holes, and just be easy. I mean, you throw a battery in, you press the trigger, you drill holes.
Yeah.
If you're getting into it and money is an option, and an object, which it is for most of us, let's face it, there's nothing wrong with a hand auger. When we're around here, that's what I started with, a 5-inch laser. Got me through. I figured if I'm going through even a couple feet of ice, I can auger through that with a 5-inch.
Yep.
I think you were rocking the 8-inch hand.
Running the 8-inch hand for, probably 6 years ago. Mm-hmm. And then that's before I finally got something with power.
Yeah, and even now, like for a $20 drill adapter, that'd be the way to go for hand. If you have any kind of drill on hand, I mean, there's guys online using the cheap drills, somewhat getting by. I mean, it's not ideal, but that gets you through. Say you drill 10 holes with it, and your battery dies.
I mean, that's really going to depend on the kind of fishing you're doing. Yeah. I mean, if you're kind of the weekend warrior kind of guy that you go out maybe 3 or 4 times a year, or you're fishing, farm ponds, you really don't need to go out and buy the $200, $250 heavy duty XR or fuel drill. You can get by with your $70 Hitachi or Bosch or whatever. Or,
Menards brand, whatever.
Porter Cable, they make a pretty decent brand also.
But I mean, like the guys that I've seen, kind of poking fun, honestly, at other people.
Yep.
Going all out. Everyone's got, talking about the fuel drills from Milwaukee and DeWalt and all this. And I mean, really, back when I first started with my hand auger, if I would have had any kind of drill and I could have drilled 10 holes.
Yep.
With that drill, that would have just been...
That would have been it.
That'd been awesome.
Yep. Well, I saw another thing, if you're thinking drill stuff and you don't want to go out and buy an expensive drill, if you have a generator handy, just go take your corded drill, freaking hook that sucker up,
there you go.
Plug her into the Jenny, get yourself like a 100-foot cord.
Yep.
Then you can get a 200 foot from one end to the other of that circle.
Maybe plug it into your truck. They have some trucks have that in the bed and plug it right in.
Money.
Yep. So you got a $50,000 truck powering your $15 Menards drill.
Hey man,
running an auger.
You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
But yeah, really the technology so far with drills and just electrics in general.
Yeah.
That's what's really taken everything over.
Yep.
And gas augers they're not obsolete by any means, but they're becoming more obsolete the further south you go.
Yeah.
By the time you get down here,
you don't need
it.
No.
I mean, it's kind of nice to have, but at the same time, that's kind of what I run as a backup now.
But if you don't have anything, like,
oh yeah,
if you're just like, hey, I don't have a drill, hey, I don't have a bit or an auger, what should I do? I'd go gas. If I'm not going a whole hell of a lot of times, you can pick up a gas auger for $100 anymore.
Yep, a nice one
on Facebook, Craigslist, something like that. I mean, people are just trying to offload them anymore.
Yep.
And 2 years ago, those same people were asking $300 for those augers.
It's all of us guys that are getting rid of our gas stuff and just going to drills or going to electric, and that's what you can benefit off of. Yep. Absolutely.
I mean,
the one thing too about augers that, I mean, it's a necessity. Like you really can't go out. You can go ice fishing without it.
But
you're at the mercy of other anglers.
Yep.
If you're out
helping you out.
Well, or you just run around and scout holes.
Yep.
Punch them open a little with a spud bar. That can get you by.
You can get by with an axe. You can do a lot with an axe.
Well, there's that setup on Facebook that had the axe.
Yeah.
The little hatchet.
Yeah.
It's a complete ice fishing setup and had a couple schoolies, a hatchet, and a bucket.
And a drill bit.
And a drill bit.
Yeah, half-inch drill bit.
Yep. For, I don't know, checking ice thickness or something.
Yeah, for like $45.
Yep. So, yeah, there's a lot of ways you can go. Really, for us, the drill setup's been really nice.
Yeah. I mean, to me, that's the ideal way to go. If you already own a drill, which I don't know how a male human being that beyond the age of 25 does not own a cordless drill.
Yep.
I mean, I understand people live different lifestyles than I live.
There's a lot of people that live different lifestyles than we do.
That's just a staple in the garage. I mean, I've always, even before I even thought about ice fishing, I always had a cordless drill. And I don't care what you have for a cordless drill. They're going to work. A lot of it comes down to kind of how you use it and operator running. Because you hear a lot of people talk about, I smoked mine after 3 holes. I did this and that. Well, that's probably because you were pushing the shit out of that thing, trying to drill that hole as fast as you can, or you had dull bits.
Oh, yeah.
Or dull blades.
But I think, too, with that, if you are going to use a cheaper-ish drill,
you got to be careful with it.
I wouldn't run a laser auger, necessarily. Like an 8-inch, you don't just go right to an 8-inch laser.
No, I'd go something
because that
drag.
is aggressive. That's digging hard into that ice and putting some
I'd go 5-inch, maybe with like an Eskimo style aggressive bit.
Yeah, I think of too, like you're drilling holes through wood with these drills.
Yep,
they'll do like a 3.5-inch, hole at
bit.
Least.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah,
all day.
Same kind of deal going through ice. But
you want to have a sharp bit.
Really, drills are taking off, and everyone's pretty much running drills now. There's
going to your tournament
on whether
a little bit even.
Yeah, there's a debate on whether you use the side handle on it or no
clam
handle
plate.
or the clam plate.
Yeah,
and just seeing the Angling Buzz recently had a video on the merits of running small augers, specifically like a 4 or a 5-inch auger.
Yep.
Just run around hunting for
tournament angling.
For fish.
So basically, you just want to drill a hole big enough that you can squeak your lure down, or primarily you're running a camera down there.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
So that was kind of neat. Just the less ice that you're drilling, the better.
Yep.
In their minds, because it's faster and you're using less battery and you can drill more holes and it's easier on you too. So when you're running around the lake all day,
Yep.
you're less fatigued.
And that comes back to auger or operator, use and how you're using it. If you're a guy that's chasing basin crappies and you're drilling 200 or 300 holes a day, you need a little different setup than if you're a guy that's, hey, I'm going to go set up over a brush pile. We're going to relax, and we're going to bring the grill out, and we're just going to hang out for the afternoon. Where you're drilling a max of 10 holes.
I feel like that's how most people fish too. And seeing people out on the lakes we go to.
Don't overthink it if you're if that's your situation where you're just going out there to drill some holes and hang out and have a good time during the day with your family, friends, whatever, and you're just hanging out and grilling and enjoying the afternoon outdoors. Don't overthink your stuff. Really think about it when you're going hardcore. You're getting after it. You're drilling 200 or 300 holes in a day, and you really need to rely on that stuff to perform.
Yep. And with that too, let's talk a little bit. If people don't know the difference in auger blade styles, there's two main types.
Yep.
So you have kind of the basic type, which would be your chipper style blade, and the chipper blades are tough as nails.
Yep.
I mean you can you don't really have to worry about getting setting them down on things and being
running into stuff
being
with
careful too much with them. They basically...
Well, describe what it is a little bit.
A chipper blade has extra serrations.
What am I
blade,
looking
basically.
at? When I hold that bit upside down, what does a chipper blade look like?
Chipper blade is going to be looks like a saw blade.
Yep.
It's
jagged.
jagged.
It's going to have a comb on it.
Yep.
And it's going to be one blade.
Yep.
I don't think I've seen any augers with two chippers on them.
No.
Two blades.
No, they can. I think.
Have you seen auger chipper
and
blades?
some of them run like a hybrid.
Oh, okay.
Like the pistol bit's kind of a hybrid one. It's got the
new pistol bit's all.
The Strike Master Light Flight has a little serration to it too, but not as aggressive.
That's not chipper blade though.
Not as aggressive as a chipper blade.
That's not chipper.
Yeah. It's close. But that's mainly made for the guys that are running out, like South Dakota guys running sand that gets blown across the ice all the time.
Running dirty water.
Dirty water. Maybe you hit the occasional tree branch. It's stuff that dulls your blades. That's when you need a chipper blade. It might be a little bit slower, but it's going to last forever. The guys that are just out there drilling, like I said, 5-10 holes, and
I'd go
done,
chipper. Yeah, because then you don't have to worry about it next year. You don't have to worry about it every year. It's going to cut pretty well the same. It's not going to be the fastest on the earth. Yep. But it's not going to dull and go slow on you either.
Yep. The alternative to that would be the laser blades from Mora, which they
are sick.
They take bites out of the ice.
Oh yeah, I mean you're chipping.
Yeah, it's a shaver blade basically.
Yeah,
so
shaving, that's
it's
the word I meant.
Basically you think of like a snow cone where you're shaving ice down in layers. That's exactly what it's doing, and it'll rip through ice like crazy, and is not tolerant of dirty ice, of hitting branches. You don't set it down on concrete.
Yeah, don't throw it around. If you get that pitch knocked off just a little bit, it's not going to cut anymore.
Yep.
And
hard to sharpen. You can't sharpen.
I don't think you can.
I mean,
you
some
get that
guys claim
pitch.
they can.
That pitch has to be so perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean it's worth a shot if you think somebody can sharpen them. You're not really out anything, but.
Yep.
So what's a sure sign that your blades are getting dull?
So if you're on a hand auger, you notice it right away.
Yeah.
That's where you have increased effort turning the blades. Maybe it's having trouble starting a hole. You start turning and it's kind of wobbling around all over, not really grabbing.
Yep.
That's a good sign. And then too, really, I mean, you can kind of, I wouldn't say run your finger over it. Maybe put a glove on and kind of feel how sharp it is.
Don't even say that, dude.
You don't run your finger over it.
What the fuck? Don't put your finger on that. You're going to cut your dang finger off.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
No, what actually usually for me when a sure sign that's getting dull is when you're talking about you're shaving that ice is when those chunks start getting smaller. When you're actually making snow cone looking
like
ice.
A chainsaw.
Yeah, if you're turning it and cutting and you're getting good sized chunks that are flying out of there, that's sharp. Those blades are sharp. But if you're starting to get it and that ice is starting to look more like snow cone ice, then your blades are getting dull.
Yeah,
also.
sure. Yeah, it's more like
because you're not cutting as
shaving it
deep anymore. You're just brimming around.
No, you can tell if there's a chip in your blade. That's how you tell.
Yeah. I can't believe you run your thumb over that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
You never do that when you're sharpening a knife?
Yeah. I don't do it sharpening over those freaking blades.
It's a knife blade, basically. So just some things to think about on that style. If you're buying an auger, know what style you really want to go with. Most common would be the laser style, but there's a lot of chipper guys too that are. if you're reopening old holes, we didn't really talk about that.
Yeah. Ripping old holes or in an ice house or in a hut or a ice castle or a hard-sided house.
Chipper.
Yeah, and that's really too revolutionized staying in a hard house is electricity. That way you're not smoking out your hard house anymore.
Yep, exactly. So speaking of smoking out your ice house, you want to talk some gas and propane options?
Yeah, I mean, I only really know about gas. I've never ran a propane.
I've never run a propane, but I know they're a 4-stroke engine.
Yeah.
So they have most augers have gearbox oil that you really never change.
No.
And then they have no other oil. You mix it with your gas.
Yep.
But then 4-stroke propane engine will have a crankcase. You fill it up with oil. You change the oil in it. They supposedly run pretty clean, so I don't think that.
I mean, I see the value in those. I mean, if you're already taking out those propane tanks with your buddies and stuff, you already got, or your Mr. Buddy heaters, you already have those 1-pound cylinders. I see where that value came from, but
that's expensive though.
Yeah,
compared to what just straight gas would cost you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Expensive.
I don't know how efficient it runs. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that 1-pound cylinder will last you all season.
I don't think so. I was thinking it was maybe 40, 50 holes.
Oh, no. It's got to be longer than that, doesn't it?
I don't think so.
Oh, shit.
Because
that's not very good.
Yeah, a gas auger will run probably about the same, maybe some more, on a tank of fuel.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe not the end-all, be-all option, the propane, but they're still selling some. Jiffy has one, Eskimo.
Yep. I mean, gas is still the tried and true, proven. It's going to last. It's going to run no matter what, as long as you keep that motor up to snuff.
Yep. And I think Strike Master still has their Strike Light, the Honda powered 4-stroke, lighter version of their gas auger, but they might not even be selling that now.
I don't think I've seen a Strike Master gas auger in a long time now.
Yep. Not a new one.
No, I think Eskimo and Jiffy are about the only ones left that sell gas.
Yep. But as far as brands go, I can't talk to too much of that on the gas side. I mean, I have an Eskimo.
I've got a Strike Master.
M43. You have the old Strike Master.
Yeah, Solo.
Yep.
I mean, that engine's bulletproof.
Yep.
It's always started. It's two pulls, no matter what. It could be negative 10 degrees out. It could be 30 degrees. 2 pulls, no matter what.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. One thing I will mention that helps a lot if you're running a gas auger, it's worth it for me personally in small engines just to buy the pre-mixed fuel.
Oh, yeah.
And I
True
say
Fuel
that
all the way, every time.
Either True Fuel or Husqvarna makes some, Steel makes some, whatever your hardware store brand is going to be 100% no ethanol.
Yep.
And that's important for long-term storage especially.
Stabilized.
It's already stabilized. I mean, I have stuff that's been in equipment for 3 years.
Yep.
That gets hardly any use, and it'd go out there and start right now.
Yep.
No problem.
It's precisely mixed, especially with that kind of equipment.
Sure. Yep.
With your augers, I mean, they're only being ran 3-4 months out of the year, and then they're sitting.
You're not using gallons of it.
No. Yeah, you might top. I couldn't imagine somebody going through maybe more than 4 or 5 tanks.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a lot of digging.
Yep.
But I mean, I think I've only ever gone through two cylinders in a season.
Yep. And same thing if you're thinking like string trimmers and chainsaws and all your other
it
stuff.
runs on everything.
Oh yeah, works good.
Anything that takes 50/50 fuel.
That's kind of been a groundbreaker for me just in my own life running equipment because I love working on stuff, but I just hate when stuff doesn't work when I need it to.
Yep.
So you go out to your chainsaw and you need to cut something and you can't because the carb's gummed up. Yep.
Carb's boned.
So you spend all afternoon tearing the carb apart rather than doing what you want to do.
Yep.
So as I become older, I do a lot of more of that.
Become
wiser to that kind of mentality.
Yeah.
So that's where the premix fuel is really handy.
Yep.
So
yep.
But yeah, there's nothing. I mean, you can carry some batteries with you, or you can carry some fuel with you. Either way, you can get through a lot of holes on not a lot of resources with these augers.
Yep. So let's get to. I mean, I don't know if there's a whole lot unless you have something else you want to talk about gas augers. Let's go bit size.
Oh yeah.
So you got a wide range of like you said, 4-inch to 10-inch.
Yep.
And I'm just going out there to the local lake fishing.
Yep.
What kind of bit do I want?
So the most common, 6-inch, 8-inch.
Yep.
Hands down, the most common. You can find blades anywhere. Every company's going to make a 6-inch.
They're going to be in the store. They're going to carry those blades in the store.
Yep. As far as like powered augers go, 8-inch is the most common.
Yep.
And really, it depends on what kind of fish you're catching. Your farm pond fishing, bluegills and crappies, 5, 6, 7, 8-inch, they're all going to be fine.
Yep.
It depends on if you're wanting to run an 8-inch hand auger. It's a lot more work than a 5-inch hand auger.
Yeah, see, that's where you need to think about how you're powering that auger.
And as you think about it, an 8-inch hole is much more ice. You're removing much more ice than a 5-inch hole. Yep. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's twice as hard. Well, it's actually more than twice as hard.
It's definitely more than twice as hard. Yeah.
So think about that when you're eyeing the size of the hole. Really, I used to run a 5-inch all the time. My hole would freeze up a little bit faster. That's the downside.
Yeah. That's why I didn't really like running. That's why I liked running the bigger holes, because your holes didn't freeze up.
Yep. But with that, I haven't caught a crappie that would not get through a 5-inch hole.
No, I don't think I've hardly ever caught a fish I wouldn't. Mm-hmm. I couldn't at least force through.
Brett and I kind of settled on the 7-inch size.
Yeah.
Just as a really good compromise for tournament fishing, where we know we can get big fish through. The hole is not going to freeze up as quick.
See, that's one thing I'm curious about tournament guys that are pan fishermen that are running these little holes. So they're running 4 or 5-inch holes. Mm-hmm. It's dead ass cold out there. How are those holes just not instantly freezing up?
Yeah, they're doing the 5-minute rule. Gotta be.
Those dang holes will freeze up in 2.
I know. I don't know. They're using the ice defense.
The ice defense would take up the rest of the area of the hole.
Exactly. I wonder about that. Yeah, so I made a little homemade ice defense this week. So I'm anxious to try that out tomorrow. I'll let you know how it goes on the next episode.
We'll get into that next episode.
Yep. Share the details on it.
Yep.
It's kind of neat.
Yep. So what situation would I ever be in that I need a 10-inch auger?
Well, see, the wheelhouse guys like that a lot.
Yeah. Well, it's because it keeps the hole open.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of 10-inch augers because
you can fall through that sucker.
My foot's gone through a 10-inch hole.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not fun.
No.
And it takes just very little bit. It's skimmed over a little bit with a little bit of skim ice and a little snow on top blown over.
Don't even see it.
You can't tell it all.
Yep.
So then you got this guy punching 10-inch holes all over the lake, and you're stepping in them.
Yeah, you're not running and gunning with a 10-inch hole. You're in a house, and you're setting up there for a while.
Yep.
Overnight, I think, is what a lot of it is.
Yep.
It's an overnight kind of hole where you don't have to go back and redig. Because, over time, those holes will shrink.
Yep.
Even when your house is sitting on top of them.
Yep. But, that's some serious real estate.
Yep.
With a 10-inch hole.
Yeah, you don't need that.
You can, the diameter of that.
So what situation would I find myself that I need a 4-inch hole then? We'll go the opposite spectrum.
4-inch hole? So
why would I want that?
You can fit pretty much any bluegill through a 4-inch
hole.
And that's really what guys are looking to do. Less effort, less ice.
Going fast.
I'm sure it does drill pretty fast. I can't imagine it's not that big of a difference between a 4-inch hole and maybe our 7-inch holes. Yep. The way we drill them with the clam plate and a drill on there.
If I'm a guy that's going out with a hand auger, I'm thinking hard about ordering online 4-inch auger. Mm-hmm. Especially if I'm new and I'm just going to go run around out there.
There's still a stigma around it too, and I ran into that too, where I was like, man, what if I catch something that's
it is awfully damn small hole, but
the difference between a 4 and a 5 is pretty good size.
Yeah.
5 is like, okay, I can get something pretty decent
through there, yeah.
4 is like, oh, shoot, that's going to be tough. But if you do catch something like that, what do? You're basically getting your auger out, trying to drill an adjacent hole to it, connect them, which on a laser is very hard to do.
Just grab it. It'll come out.
Yeah. Just manhandle it.
Yeah.
It's good
on
the
fit
fish.
Your hand down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe keep that one.
Yeah. There you go. But yeah, really auger size, it just depends on what you're trying to do. You go bigger, it's going to be heavier, use more battery, use more gas, use more effort.
But it's going to stay open longer. You can catch bigger fish through it. So. Yep.
Or you run 3-4 augers.
Like your buddy.
Yeah. Stack them up on the quad and got your twin.
Well, that's about you are now. You got an 8-inch auger, you got a 4 or a 7, and you got 6, and you got a 4, don't you?
Oh, I got
or 5.
I have an 8. I have a 7, and I have 2 5s.
2 5s. All right.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. But really, the 7 that's where it's at.
Yeah, that gets 90% of the work.
Yep. Brett and I are both running the lasers.
Yeah. So how I came across that decision that I liked. You're the one who bought that 7-inch auger and running it. It is a beautiful combination of having that 8-inch hole is just a little bit big that you really don't need that big of a hole. But that 6-inch hole, I just found myself, it was freezing up more than I wanted it to. And it just wasn't quite what I wanted. But so that 7, I really like that 7-inch hole.
Sweet spot.
Yep.
Yep. So that's good.
I really liked it.
Yep.
And it's not that I've ever felt that I couldn't pull a fish out. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I was afraid I was going to get a fish that was too big. I wouldn't be able to get through a 6-inch hole. It was.
Yep.
They were just kind of freezing up a little bit faster on me than what I liked.
Oh yeah.
But then that kind of leads me into kind of running and gunning.
Yeah.
So what kind of ideal setup for you that you're going to be, you're the kind of guy that you're on the run, you're punching 200, 300, 400 holes a day.
So
what are you doing?
DeWalt 996 brushless with the biggest battery you can get, which I have the 9 amp.
Flex volts. That sucker. We've never even killed it.
The
only time it's slowed down is because it was super cold out.
The other advantage with, I think, bigger batteries, they're less affected by the cold.
Yeah.
If you keep them warm at the start of the day, you're still
There's just a
running.
lot of core in there for them to hold.
Still a lot of power in them.
Yep.
On a clam plate, just for extra
stability,
ease, and keeps everything
I love
off
that
the
clam
ice.
plate, man.
Yep. Keeps your drill from sitting in the slush.
Yep.
And then 7-inch hand auger, the laser, new blades. I just do new blades every year.
Yep.
Give my old blades to Brett. He uses them again.
Oh yeah, they'll work. Oh, I haven't used them yet. They're still on there.
And we just rip through ice.
Yeah.
Really,
what you're really looking for in that kind of setup is speed. At that point, the bottleneck is how fast can you walk to the next spot that you want to cover.
Oh yeah.
And then also kind of ergonomics.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to fatigue yourself.
Yep.
Drilling holes and then
get
you
an
got to go back
extension
and
too,
fish.
so you're not bending over.
That's what I found myself with the gas augers. I was freaking fatigued after drilling 20 holes. And
oh yeah.
I had to go take a break.
That's a workout.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So yeah, that really transitions you right into the Basin crappies.
Yeah.
Because that's a situation where you're running and gunning.
Yep, you're running.
It's a situation where you gotta, once you find the school, you need to start drilling some holes also, or you need a buddy to start drilling some holes.
Yeah.
So you can keep on that school.
Yeah, and that's a really cool bite when you can get on it and have another guy help hold fish where you're at.
Yep.
The main thing would be if you're seeing a lot of marks, you can kind of tell they're crappies on your flasher just by the way they're stacked up.
Yep.
And crappies like to do that. If you see underwater camera footage of them, they're kind of at all different
depths,
but they're all kind of in a big ball.
But they're at a similar total water column depth.
Mm-hmm.
But the crappies might be hanging from 5 to 15 foot.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all going to be in a 20-foot water column.
Yeah.
Sort of situation, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
So yeah, what's your tactic for drilling out you're going after a Basin crappie bite. What's your tactic for drilling to start with?
I kind of just, I don't know, I just run a line maybe 30, 40 feet and drill every 5 feet or so.
Yep.
And then we'll make a turn and drill 5 feet away.
Yep.
And I'll alternate. So it's kind of like you drill one hole, you hop over the other one, and then when you get to the end, you go and you put one in the middle of where those other holes were.
Yep.
But 5 feet over in one direction, and then just go.
Work your way
so
back.
It's kind of like a checkerboard.
Yep.
Style.
Zigzag back and forth.
When you look at, like, on the flasher, you can see on the LX series, you can see the cone angle that you're at and how much of the bottom you're seeing.
Yep.
And you kind of envision where that's actually the spread that you're getting on the bottom. That's really where you want to be. Ideally,
yep.
You could have some system where it's like, okay, we're in 18 feet of water, so we need to be 4.5 feet apart from each other
so I
in
can
a
see
circle.
What's going on.
Yeah. So you like draw just a big circle around it, and you need holes
that far apart.
See,
that's a situation where I'd want that if I knew there were fish there.
Yeah.
I'm not searching at that point. At that point, I've found them and I'm trying to stay on them. And then that's when it would be key to get by with your normal GP or your normal flasher situation.
But that's where the Garmin guys with live scope and live view and all that, Panoptics, that's where you have the advantage.
But you can get by with it now. Yeah, if you're fishing, I don't know, say 30 foot of water, say crappies are suspended in 15, so your cone angle's down. It's probably 8 foot wide at that point, maybe if you have it on a wide angle. Just start pinning them at 4.5 foot. Increments. And then you can see everything. You know exactly where those fish are moving and where they're going. Another thing, a nice thing that to have is when you're fishing with a buddy is obviously you can drill twice as many holes if you have 2 augers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, now that we both run those clam plate 7-inch augers, I mean, we can punch 50 holes in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
2.5 minutes. But then having that buddy, so you're on the school and they're looking for the school. They're looking for, you can start to get an idea of the direction that school is wanting to move.
Yep. That's the hard part. That takes some.
Basin crappie fishing by yourself
Figuring
on
out.
a new body of water is tough.
Yep. And then add into that, you're trying to figure out what they want to bite on that day.
Yep.
Their mood. Are they coming up and ripping your bait? Are they,
Yep.
Negative and neutral, and you're trying to coax them in, just having a heck of a time. Or maybe you go out and you see a ton of sweet marks, and you go out and you catch 4 or 5, and they're all 6-7 inch fish.
Well, to me that's always been the tough part, is when you do go and find that 4 or 5 is staying on them, because then they go away, and you still try to fish that hole a little longer than you should have.
Sure.
And then you don't know where they went.
Yep.
So it's kind of you try to coax them back, and you're like, shit. Now what do I do?
Don't fall
and then
for
try
the
to
decoy.
Then you try to punch around again and quick, and then
Yep.
before you know it, you're back to ground zero again.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So being able to identify that and what you're looking at and saying, okay, the school moved. Let's go punch some hole. I want some holes in a immediate circle around me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start see if I can figure out where they went.
Yeah.
And then also not getting suckered into fishing the bottom. Keep that bait up.
Yep.
So they can see it coming in.
Yep. And like basins, like we're talking here, there's probably a basin in any lake. Could be considered a basin.
Yep.
We're talking the kind of the average deepest ish part of the lake, or maybe it's something that's kind of featureless, but that's where fish like crappies like to go and spend their winter.
Yep.
Not early ice, not late ice.
That's dead of the winter ice.
And that's kind of what got ice fishing. When I think of ice fishing, that's what I think of.
You think of the basin
I think
crappie
of,
bite.
you pick a spot on the lake where you're like, yep, that's the deepest spot right there. You go out there, drill some holes, middle of January and February, and try and catch some fish.
Fall ass backwards into a basin crappie bite.
Yep. Yeah, we need to get on one of those tomorrow.
I know that. I'm pumped that I can start fishing water that I want to fish.
Yep.
And I can go where I want to go. Prior to this week, we got on the ice a few times, but we were kind of very restricted on the bodies of water we could go to, and really kind of restricted on where we could even go on those bodies of water.
Oh, yeah.
We were fishing the safe ice rather than fishing the fish that we wanted to get after.
Yep. And it was just hard to get that balance when the weather was not cooperating. I mean, it was 50 degrees, like we said last week.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you gotta be safe, but
yeah,
I'm pumped to be able to kind of get out and do what we want to do now, kind of do our thing, hit a few new bodies of water.
Yep, and just having that resource of all the different ponds around town and around the Des Moines area to try and hopefully have some success on. Yeah,
and that's one thing I would say. Surprisingly enough, when we started this podcast, I really wanted to center it around, Des Moines ice fishermen fishing in Iowa, that sort of deal. Shit, I'd say less than 20% of our viewers are from Iowa.
Yeah. We got a lot of people in Minnesota, Wisconsin,
the Northeast, Canadians.
All over
Lake of the
all over
Woods.
The place.
You live in freaking a destination body of water, and you listen to two guys talk about fishing a pond the size of your freaking backyard.
No, it's great. Gotta love it.
Where was I going with that?
I don't know.
I don't remember where I was going with that now.
Well, we're still talking about Des Moines area type fishing.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's relatable to you guys wherever you're at.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like everyone does a little bit different kind of fishing.
I remember now. So I mean, there's these urban ponds and parks all over the country. Go check them out. I mean, I can go right now, 0.25 miles away from my house, and catch a 9.5-inch bluegill.
Yep. Amazing.
Anybody can do that.
Yep.
This isn't some special pond, some special mecca. I mean, it's just a drainage freaking pond that comes off of a parking lot.
Yep.
And you just go out there and fish. The worst thing is this little drainage pond over here in town that they put a sign specifically, this is a drainage area, no ice fishing.
Because it's not technically a pond.
No, it's not. It's just a drainage spot that water just collects. And there's some freaking sweet crappies in there. It's probably been 2 years since I fished it, and it's just little. I mean, it's probably twice the size of my basement. And I mean, there's freaking
like 12 inch bowl.
There's freaking 12-inch crappies in that sucker.
Gosh.
But last time I was out there, the police officer stopped by and said, "Hey, did you not see that sign?" I mean, of course I saw the sign, but I was like, "No, must have missed it."
What do you mean? All these are fishable.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Oh, it says right in the City of Ankeny literature.
No, not that one's not.
I know.
I mean, that one's literally just a ditch with a depression.
That's great.
And so I don't know. Somebody put some fish in it.
But yeah, you talk about like even in the summer, like river fishing. everyone discounts rivers where it's like, nah,
That's where the best fishing's at.
it's whatever. It's too muddy. It's too whatever.
Well,
Hard to
some of
get
it
at.
sketches you out too, especially taking a boat out there.
Yeah.
You don't want to bust your prop because you don't
Sure.
know the bottom content, and there's shit floating in the water. And then also fishing from shore, you're always snagging stuff in the river
yeah.
because it's just not as consistent. But
There's some fish in there.
there's some hog daddies in there.
Yep.
Well, the Iowa state record walleye was caught right downtown here in Ankeny, Des Moines River.
Yeah.
Yeah. Frick.
Jeez. What was that, like 31 and a quarter or something?
I have no
33?
idea. It was in like
32?
the 60s or the 80s,
Oh, yeah,
I think.
sure. Yep.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. So, got anything else to talk about tonight?
No, all I'm going to be doing is dreaming about legit ice
we're
fishing
sitting pretty
tomorrow.
good. Get
We got a
everything
nice
loaded
6 inches of snow.
Yep.
We'll be able to snow in the shack tomorrow.
Yep.
Really heat that sucker up. Come in and get warm. Go back out.
Yep.
Drill pile holes.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be windy,
Catch
too.
a pile of crappies. Get cold. Come back in.
Sweet.
Warm up. Go back out. Repeat.
Try the ice defense out. Bring some snacks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe we'll just order a Casey's Pizza on the ice.
All right. Sounds good. Let's do it.
See,
Let's
that's
not do
beauty number one.
Let's not do that gravy pizza again.
Don't get so
That was
worried
okay,
about
but-
going out into the boonies because, service isn't that
Yeah,
great.
exactly.
I can just go here in town and have a freaking large pizza delivered to me on the ice.
Yep. We're out in the middle of this pond. Just set it along the bank if you don't want to come out.
Yeah, I'll meet you there.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for listening. Tune in next week. We'll be talking about some more cool stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the topic's going to be, but
Yeah, we're just going to play it by ear and talk about what we want to talk about. So,
hopefully something shakes out tomorrow.
absolutely. Have a good time. So, awesome. Thanks everyone for listening.
To the Short Rod Show.